One of the stories that comes to mind too is the story of the Amish school shooting, you know, which happened just a couple hours from where we live in Philly. And I think of that, what happened after the school shooting was astounding, and there's been books and stories written on it, but I'll never forget that this deranged, maddened man comes into the Amish school and he kills a bunch of the kids, and then he turns the gun on himself and kills himself. But the response of the Amish caught the whole world's attention. The first thing that they did was go to the shooter's family and say, "You must be really upset. Is there anything we can do for you?" You know, folks began to pour out money in support of the Amish to the Amish community, and they took that money and they created scholarships for the children of the shooter, the man who killed their kids. And then as the funerals rolled around, the Amish went obviously to the funeral of their own kids, but then they went to the funeral of the man who killed their kids so they could be with his family. I remember when that happened, I was in Australia, and what made headline news in Australia was, and incidentally, Australia is not particularly like a religious country, you know, very kind of post-Christian, not a lot of good news stories about Christians in the headlines, but what made headline news was Amazing Grace. And it said, why would they do what they did? And what's beautiful is they did what they did because they had a different imagination. They had a community that kind of cultivated those fruits of the Spirit, you know, and it isn't something that's just a knee-jerk reaction. It's something we have to grow. You know, we've got to cultivate that, and there's a reason that disciple has discipline, you know, at the core of it. So that community has so much to teach us, I think, about what it really means to be a contrast society in the world. You know, I'm not trying to convince us all to be Amish, but I think they're onto something, you know, and we wrote this little book called Jesus for President, and we've got a section where we talk about that story of the Amish, and it's called Amish for Homeland Security. Because you sort of go, what if we had responded like that after September 11th?